So, Beasts Bob here with brotherhoodofbeasts.com, ChristopherBobRoberts.com, and today we are going to talk about my keto cheat method of low carb lean bulking. Now, the first time that I intentionally bulked, I decided I was going to set aside a year or two to just get bigger and stronger. I really did not know how to set up a bulking diet. I had previously cut a lot of fat in a short amount of time twice. So I knew everything about how to set up a cutting diet, but I did not know how to set up a bulking diet. At that time, I was on a purely ketogenic diet, so I decided I would just make sure I got plenty of protein, make sure I got plenty of fat to fuel my workouts, and just see what was going on. And what happened actually was I had been previously doing bodyweight calisthenics. I added weight to my calisthenics, and I ended up losing weight, losing body weight while I was bulking. Looking back, I had plenty of energy for my workouts, plenty of energy to go through the rest of my day. I was getting stronger in the gym, so I certainly wasn't losing muscle, and I was losing weight, which meant I was recomposing my body. It was the perfect diet, okay? I was losing fat and building muscle and building strength at the same time, the absolute perfect situation. But I was stuck back in that like 90s era or early 2000s era mindset of if you're not building so many pounds of muscle a week, then you're not bulking and you need to eat more until you start gaining weight on the scale. So I decided, hey man, I want to bulk. Let's do this the right way. So I just added in enough calories from fat to get the scale moving, as they say. And it worked, okay? I went from actually losing weight to actually gaining weight every week. Now, the problem was it is humanly impossible to build a noticeable amount of muscle every week. I mean, let's say you build 12 pounds of muscle in a year, which is incredible for a natural person, okay? If you build 12 pounds of muscle a year, that's 1 pound of muscle a month. That's a quarter of a pound, okay, of muscle a week. So if you're gaining 1 or 2 pounds or even half of a pound a week, there is no way that that's going to be muscle. And the proof is I got fat. Okay, I remember coming home from the gym after doing a leg day one day, and I was working up to 5 plates on the deadlift bar, okay? At this point, I had like 3, maybe 4 plates on the bar, and I sat down on the weight stack at the end of the bar because, cool thing about lifting a lot on the deadlift bar is you can actually have a little seat to sit down and feel sorry for yourself in between sets. So I'm sitting down there and I tell my girlfriend, I actually felt my gut hanging over my waistband of my shorts onto my lap. And I was like, wow, I wasn't huge fat, but I actually had like a little pouch going on because I was eating too much, okay? But like I said, I was bulking. So, you got to accept a little bit of fat gain, right? So I kept going with that same diet. Now, the thing is, as I continued to build muscular strength and size, as my workouts got harder, maybe a little bit longer, I was no longer in a caloric surplus. I was no longer eating more calories than I was burning, okay? Which meant I was getting to the point where, once again, okay, I was eating all my food and I was actually starting to lose a little bit of weight, lose a little bit of fat. But I continued doing that until the point where I was hungry. Now, what I did not want to do was just throw out another 10 million calories and start getting fat again. But I also, at the same time, was concentrating on building muscular size and strength. So I do not want to be hungry. So what I did is I started having keto cheat meals. Okay? Now, keto cheat meals are what I've used previously on ketogenic cutting diets to do a refeed. Instead of eating a bunch of garbage, having it a cheat day and calling it a refeed, instead of doing a carb refeed, I would just eat more of the food that I already was, okay? Ketogenic foods, just fat and protein, no carbs, no junk, but more of the same. Specifically, I was trying to get in more fat and more calories. So that's what I did when I started to get hungry on my low carb lean bulk. If I had done a hard workout let's say the hard workout was like 20 rep squats and 5 sets of 5 deadlifts. Okay, let's say it was a hard lower body workout and I came home and I was hungry and I was tired and like I'd eaten all my meals and it was getting towards night and I was still hungry. Well, I would go ahead and eat as much as I needed to no longer be hungry, to no longer have this ravenous hunger, to no longer be starving, but it could only be fat and protein. And I concentrated on the fat because I was already getting in as much protein as I needed. Okay, and I'm on a ketogenic diet, so I'm not eating any carbs. So I wanted to get as much fat as possible. Of course, some protein would come in. It's not going to kill you, but I really wanted more energy food, okay, more fat. What does this look like? In the beginning, I would have like a salad and I throw on some shredded cheese and I throw on a little bit more, oil dressing kind of thing. Maybe some like, seeds or something on top of that, maybe some nuts. After a while, I was like going straight out with, let's say, a pepperoni pizza, which was one of my favorite keto cheat meals. It is a pizza made out of pepperoni. Basically, I would put little pepperonis on like a small plate, put some shredded cheese on top of it, throw it into in a microwave till the cheese melts, and I basically have like pepperoni with melted cheese on top. Okay. There's protein in there, but it's basically a lot of fat. Okay, another thing that I would do is my girlfriend back then was also ketogenic diet. So what we would do is we'd make like a plate of like fake lasagna. Okay, instead of lasagna, we'd just put in some ground beef, maybe some cottage cheese, maybe some ricotta cheese, and then we pour on like some sauce that was made out of like heavy cream, butter, Philadelphia cream cheese, and shredded cheese. Okay, that would be like the sauce that we put on. So put on some ground beef, put on some of that sauce, put on some, instead of like pasta, we'd make like cover it with like slices of cheese, put on some more ground beef, put in some more sauce, put on some more cheese on top, and bake it. So I would keep that in the refrigerator, and at night, if I was hungry, I would eat some of that. Okay, protein and fat until I was no longer hungry. Now, the thing about this is, first of all, I was only eating when I was hungry. It wasn't like I'm hungry today, so I'm going to add all kinds of calories to my diet. It was if I'm hungry today because I had a hard workout, or maybe I walked a little bit more, I burnt more calories, or my body's growing at this moment and I need more calories, then in that day, I would go ahead and I would consume more calories, okay? The next day, I might not be as hungry, okay? So I wouldn't eat as much. So basically, instead of adding in more calories to my diet every single day, come hell or high water, I'm eating this much food, I would eat my baseline food. Specifically, I would get in all of my protein. And then, like I said, if I was more hungry, I would eat more. Now, the reason why this works so well is because it is a ketogenic cheat meal, okay? I truly love the ketogenic diet. I love all the food on the ketogenic diet. I love eating meat, eggs, and dairy, sorry. I love it. I love eating omelets. I love eating steaks and eggs, but I still do not eat it for fun. I'm never going to be like, I'm not hungry anymore, but I'm just going to have another steak or another omelet for the sake of it. That ain't how life works, okay? The problem is if you do this if it fits your macros, or a dirty bulking diet, or if you do it as a balanced diet where you're eating carbs, then you're going to get into the thing where my body's telling me I need cookies. So I'm going to eat some cookies because I'm bulking. And you eat a fucking pound of goddamn cookies, you eat a whole fucking container of ice cream or something because my body told me I was hungry. No, you're just a fucking child and you want to eat cookies and ice cream. That's what's up. If you want to eat, like I said, like some ground beef with some cream sauce on it or something like that, you're hungry, you want protein and fat, now you have the protein and fat, you're no longer hungry, okay? Whereas, like I said, that's, if you are like, oh my God, I'm hungry, I need to eat another cookie, that doesn't work like that, okay? Because people do eat carbs for fun, okay? Nobody ever eats protein or protein and fat for fun. Nobody says, I'm bored, I'm going to go ahead and sit and watch some Netflix and have a pile of dried chicken breasts. If you're hungry, you will, okay? Like I said, nobody's like, I'm bored, so I'm going to go ahead and have another omelet. Ain't like that. Would you have another stack of pancakes just because you're bored with syrup on top? Yeah, you would, even though you're not hungry, just because you're bored. So the point is, when you're on a ketogenic diet and you're only eating fat and protein, okay, ketogenic cheat meals, then you can tell it's like, I'm really fucking hungry. Like, I'm really hungry. I had a really hard workout. I walked a little bit more. I burnt more calories. I'm growing. Something's going on. I need more food. Eat the food, you feel good, and then you stop. So that is actually how I went from being very lean to bulking improperly, getting fat, okay, to recomposing myself back down. And at the end of that bulk, I put on like over 10 pounds of muscle, like 12, 15 pounds of muscle in a year and a half, okay? And I was actually lean. As a matter of fact, I got a DEXA scan and it says I was 10.2% body fat. Okay. So like I said, it took me a year and a half. I continued bulking after that, but within a year and a half, I put on a lot of size, a lot of strength, and I had a really nice six pack at the end of my quote bulk. And the reason I was able to do that is because I did a low carb, ketogenic, bulking diet, and because I did it properly, okay? I just concentrated on putting on as much strength as I could, getting as strong as I could in the gym, and eating just enough to fuel my workouts and fuel my recovery, no more and no less. Anyway, if you're interested in learning how to do this, go to brotherhoodofbeast.com, check it out there, because I have my low carb, cutting and bulking diet program in there with all the diets I've used to cut fat or build muscle. And my raw strength and muscle weighted calisthenics program is also in there. So that's the diet and the workout that I developed from this phase in my life when I just got big and strong. Plus, I have a community in there where you can go ahead and you can ask me questions every day. I'll answer them for you. And we have weekly live calls where you can ask me questions and I'll directly on a video give you the answers. Okay, so brotherhoodofbeast.com, go ahead and check it out down below. Aside from that, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.